From its origins in ancient alchemy to its influence in contemporary society, alcohol embodies a paradox. It can offer fleeting relief, even as it conceals deeper truths. The bottle on your shelf has a hidden story rooted in esoteric wisdom, an association so significant it may alter your understanding of reality forever. What's concealed in the term al-kohl might truly astonish you. The term alcohol is derived from Arabic, where it originally referenced a finely milled antimony powder, applied around the eyes as kohl. This ethereal essence was thought to purify vision, both physically and symbolically, enhancing the capacity to perceive realities beneath the surface. Over centuries, alcohol evolved to denote the essential product of alchemical distillation. Whether physical or spiritual, this distilled core represented a heightened state, extracted from denser matter to become concentrated and potent. In alchemy, alcohol aligns with the concept of transformation, a cornerstone of many spiritual paths. Much like substances undergo distillation to yield their purest form, the soul undergoes refinement through spiritual disciplines. However, when used improperly, such as through excessive drinking, alcohol becomes a deceptive stand-in for the genuine metamorphosis it was intended to inspire. It mimics transcendence without delivering true spiritual elevation. Distillation is the central mechanism for producing alcohol, and it parallels spiritual alchemy. On a material level, distillation separates impurities to obtain a concentrated essence. Mystically, this process mirrors the soul's journey through life's trials, ultimately emerging more refined and closer to the divine. And yet, in this metaphor, alcohol stands at odds with genuine union. Although it is created through a purifying process, its consumption often fosters disconnection instead of oneness. Within spiritual alchemy, the essence sought is one of heightened consciousness, clarity, and alignment with divinity. As a tangible substance, alcohol imitates this by shifting awareness, but it never transcends being a mere shadow of actual inner progress achieved through prayer, meditation, and disciplined effort. Rather than uplifting the soul, alcohol frequently traps it in material confines. In mystical teachings, the soul is likened to a radiant flame, aspiring to merge with its divine source. Yet alcohol intrinsically lowers the energetic frequency of mind and body, inhibiting the soul from resonating with higher spiritual planes. This separation forms a veil that obscures our inherent connection to the sacred. Although alcohol-induced states can feel liberating, this sense of freedom is fleeting and false, an escape from life's heaviness, not a genuine ascent. In contrast, meditative states expand awareness. Alcohol, on the other hand, restricts it, tethering us to denser vibrations and diminishing access to intuitive insight. Alcohol also disrupts the pineal gland, known in many esoteric traditions as the third eye, responsible for deeper perception and spiritual vision. Regular drinking dulls this gland's sensitivity, cutting individuals off from their internal guidance and divine communion. Spiritual disciplines aim to develop mindfulness, presence, and heightened awareness of subtle energies. Yet alcohol dulls these abilities, hindering spiritual progress. Over time, this blunting of perception can lead to stagnation, confusion, and detachment from one's higher purpose, entrapping the practitioner in a cycle of illusion and transient satisfactions. In Eastern spirituality, alcohol is sometimes likened to samsara, the cyclical pattern of birth, death, and rebirth mired in attachment and suffering. Drinking often springs from a desire to flee discomfort or chase pleasure, the very impulses that keep one bound to samsara. Its short-lived highs inevitably fade, prompting repeated indulgence, mirroring the endless cycle of seeking ephemeral joys that fail to bring lasting fulfillment. As a result, people find themselves in an endless loop, craving another temporary escape, yet never breaking free from dissatisfaction. On a deeper level, humanity's hunger for intoxication reflects an inner yearning for transcendence. The brief respite and altered consciousness that alcohol offers simulate the bliss and unity experienced in authentic spiritual communion. This impulse is a distorted reflection of the soul's innate desire to reconnect with its divine origin. Being a physical agent, alcohol cannot satisfy this longing. Instead, it serves as a counterfeit, supplying fleeting solace even as it widens the gap between the soul and its true essence. Dependence grows, masking the profound inner work that alone can grant genuine, enduring spiritual fulfillment. True spiritual awakening involves recognizing and redirecting this desire toward paths that foster authentic transcendence. Through meditative practices, chanting, or devout worship, seekers can attain the joy they unconsciously chase through external stimulants. This redirection transforms the cycle of dependency into a path of liberation. While alcohol, by its very nature, epitomizes a refined substance with alchemical roots, it nonetheless entrenches us in denser vibrations when misused. Masters of spirituality invariably underscore clarity, conscious awareness, and inner communion, qualities eroded by alcohol. Freeing oneself from alcohol's web of cravings and deception demands an awareness of the soul's genuine thirst for the divine. Recognizing this forms the starting point of a radical inward journey, turning misguided yearnings for inebriation into a deliberate quest for higher realization. Before we proceed further, take a moment now to hit subscribe and activate notifications. Remember to like this post and share it with anyone you believe should see it. The legendary Sufi poet and mystic Rumi frequently invoked images of intoxication, but his references were mostly figurative, pointing to the divine rapture of spiritual communion. In his poetry, wine often symbolizes the love of the divine, a nectar that raises the soul to realms of expansive delight and interconnectedness. Be drunk with love, for love is all that exists, Rumi declares, distinguishing divine intoxication from physical inebriation, which he warns can lead to spiritual numbness. Real intoxication, as he teaches, is a yielding to the beloved, God, freeing one from the confines of ego. In comparison, physical wine offers an illusory solace, eclipsing the vision needed to discern higher truths. In the teachings of Osho, a contemporary spiritual guide, he stresses the value of mindfulness and living wholly in the present. For him, alcohol presents a profound hurdle to awareness, dulling the senses and contributing to a contrived sensation of liberation. Awareness is the key to transformation, Osho frequently said, and alcohol erodes that awareness, preventing you from seeing your true nature. Instead of facing life's challenges and evolving through them, people employ alcohol as an anesthetic, halting real spiritual growth. Osho's approach emphasizes that authentic freedom arises from delving within, learning from discomfort, and sharpening consciousness through meditation. Paramahansa Yogananda, celebrated author of Autobiography of a Yogi, underscored the necessity of self-control and unwavering mental clarity for spiritual practice. He warned that alcohol diminishes one's ability to focus and weakens the resolve that is pivotal on the spiritual path. According to Yogananda, the human mind is inherently restless, like a wind-whipped lake, and alcohol only stirs it further. This agitation disrupts the meditative calm required to communicate with the divine. Intoxicants break the harmony of body and mind, he taught, and conceal the inner light that guides the soul toward freedom. For Yogananda, genuine enlightenment hinges on mastering one's senses and cultivating inner fortitude. Alcohol, by warping perception and undermining willpower, becomes a severe impediment to that quest. Numerous ancient spiritual paths have cautioned against alcohol, perceiving it as a barrier to enlightenment. Buddhism includes refraining from intoxicants as one of its 5 precepts, underscoring its importance for mental clarity and ethical conduct. In Hindu scriptures like the Manusmriti, alcohol is likewise discouraged, as it erodes self-discipline and moral fiber. Sufi tradition often uses wine metaphorically to illustrate the ecstasy of oneness with the divine. Yet actual wine consumption is discouraged, being a distraction from higher union with God. Jalaluddin Rumi's poetic references to wine merely serve as a metaphor for the all-consuming love of the divine, an authentic rapture that cannot be replaced by physical beverages. In Gnostic Christianity, the wine of the world stands as a metaphor for immersion in physical pleasures and diversions. Gnostic texts underscore purity and discernment, advising that indulgences of the flesh, including drunkenness, pull the soul away from its sacred calling. What they consider the true wine is gnosis, a penetrating spiritual wisdom that frees the soul from the cycles of torment. Scriptures often portray alcohol ambivalently, as both a medium of divine communion and a worldly temptation. Consider the Bible, where wine plays a pivotal role in the Eucharist, symbolizing Christ's blood and the promise of everlasting life. Nonetheless, excessive drinking is denounced. Wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging, and whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise. Such duality reflects alcohol's capacity to either unite the soul with its spiritual foundation or sever that bond, depending on its usage and intent. In mystical and alchemical writings, wine typically symbolizes a spiritual elixir, a drink or inner experience that elevates the soul. This wine does not refer to a physical beverage, but rather to a divine grace that blesses the heart with wonder and insight. The risk lies in mistaking literal alcohol for this sacred counterpart, pursuing a proxy of divine communion through purely tangible means. True divine intoxication points to the blissful state of oneness with the divine, dissolving everyday consciousness into fathomless love, joy, and revelation. Through the ages, mystics have described this as the pinnacle of spiritual seeking. Rumi speaks of being drunk on the wine of love, a state where the spirit surrenders its separateness in the infinite magnitude of the divine. This heightened perception expands rather than numbs, unveiling our interconnectedness with all that exists. Physical drunkenness, in contrast, is a pale reflection of this genuine spiritual intoxication. While alcohol produces momentary excitement and numbs the senses, true divine rapture awakens the mind and heart to real, lasting joy. Attaining such a state requires no outside agents, only persistent inner work and yielding to the sacred presence. Mystics throughout history have offered guidance for achieving spiritual inebriation via disciplines such as meditation, prayer, and heartfelt devotion. Meditation quiets the mental chatter and allows for deeper communion with the presence of the divine. Devotion and chanting fosters a profound sense of unity by opening the heart to the flow of divine love. Selfless service helps dissolve the ego and broaden one's capacity for compassion, effectively drawing nearer to the divine. The Persian poet Hafiz eloquently expresses the essence of spiritual intoxication. I am a hole in a flute that the Christ's breath moves through. Listen to this music. Here, Hafiz conveys a state of complete surrender, permitting the divine to manifest freely through one's being. It is time to peel away the illusion, to break the chains of spiritual forgetfulness, and to reclaim your sacred birthright. If you have read to this point, you are prepared for the next phase of your inward journey. Subscribe now and share this message with anyone in need of its truth. Together, let us uncover the secrets that were never intended for us to find.